Hey folks, it's Lee from the Upper Darby Township Library, coming to you with this week's STEM Shenanigans project. So I am coming to you from my home this week because I am home with my kids. Um, but we are still going to have some fun. So I told you over the internet that you did not need a kit ahead of time, and that is true if you have some very simple materials that I suspect you have at home. You see in front of me here a baking tray, like a baking sheet that just has like, I don't know, that much water in it. It's like a couple of centimeters, half an inch of water. I've got some little cardboard squares here that I just took from a cardboard box. I used a pair of scissors to cut them. I have some dish soap, and I put it in a little, I have a little medicine cup. You might have whatever you have to put a little tiny bit of it in, and some toothpicks. You could probably also use Q-tips. That should be fine. So that's literally all we need today. And what we're gonna do is make some little cardboard boats out of these and then power them with soap, and see if that works, right? So my understanding of the science here is that water has a surface tension, right? Like we think about that, like that's what makes some things able to float. The surface tension, like leaves float on that. Anything that's not heavier than the water floats on that surface tension. And so like if you just put, I'm just gonna sacrifice one of my boats here, just put it on the water, it just floats there, pretty much in place. There's a little bit of movement happening, probably from the momentum of me plopping it down, and like like I'm shaking the table a little bit with my elbow, so it's moving around a little bit because of that. But mostly it's just sitting there on the surface of the water due to the surface tension. Now, soap breaks down that surface tension, right? It interrupts it, it breaks it up, and so like that's why soap dissolves in water, right? And so the soap is going to break down the surface tension, and if this works right, it's going to scoot the boat across the tray. So we're going to find out, and then we're going to like test out some things and see if we can like make the boat turn, or if it goes faster in like hotter or colder water, or farther. So yeah, we're just going to have some fun with it. So let's get started. So first I want to cut, I'm not going to use that one, I'm going to let it dry out a little bit. I'm going to cut a notch in the back of my boat, and I'm going to cut like a triangle shape here. So just want to cut like a bit of a triangle shape here, so it's more boat shaped than it currently is. All right, now it's more of a raft. Okay, so then I want to cut out like a notch in the back, okay? And again, this is a very small boat, but it should work just fine. And we want it to be small because we want it to be pretty light. If it's too heavy, then this probably won't work because it won't be, like it's not going to be a lot of force, right? It's just kind of like amazing that it works at all. So you don't want it to be too heavy because then the soap won't be enough power to get it to go anywhere. So my boat now looks like this. And I'm going to put the soap along these two little edges right here, those sort of interior notches, size of this little notch, okay? So I'm going to use my toothpick, dab on a little bit of soap, okay? All right, I've got a little bit of soap on my toothpick there, and I'm just going to rub that on both of these sides, and I'm going to get a little bit more just to make sure I've got enough. Again, I shouldn't need a ton, but I want to make sure that it's like on there pretty good. I don't know if you guys can hear my kids running rampant. It's bedtime, they're tired, and this is what they act like when they're tired. You can probably hear them like running across the floor like elephants, saying goo goo gaga, because that's what they're 4 years old and that's what they do. All right, so I've got some soap on both the sides here. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, a little bit. So I've got some soap there, and we're gonna give this a shot. I'm gonna put it down on the side here. Yeah, it's totally going. You guys can see that? Yeah, you can totally see it. That's amazing. That is so cool. I'm so pleased. All right, that's amazing. So the one thing we do have to do before we do anything else is that I'm gonna pause the video and I'm gonna rinse out my tray so that there's no more soap in it. Because if there's soap in all the water, then like it sort of breaks up the surface tension all over and it doesn't make as effective of an experiment. So bear with me, I'll be right back and we'll do take two with a little bit different form. Okay, I'm back. And one of the things that you may have figured out if you're doing this and doing more than one take is that it might be a good idea to find someplace pretty close to a sink because otherwise you're going to get water all over your house. So do as I say and not as I do. This is just the area in my house that has the best light, so I am far from my kitchen sink. But so I've decided to put my water in a bowl this time. So that I don't get water everywhere this time. So, all right, so take two. So I went ahead and made my like 3 more boats here. They do not yet have soap applied, but I've got them ready to go. So what I want to do next is, last time my water got pretty cool, but I want to see how hot water affects it. So I have like warm water here, and I want to see if it's like slower or hot or faster, or if we can tell any difference. I didn't time it last time. You can always go back and look at the video and see, but you know, I'm just gonna eyeball it and see what we think, and then maybe maybe I'll go back later and time it and see. But for right now, just gonna kind of eyeball it. So I rinsed out my pan so that there's no more soap in there. No more soapy water. All right, putting soap on this guy. All right, cool. So I'm just gonna prop this here for a second. All soaped up. My water is still pretty warm. I'm gonna pour it in my pan. Enough yet. All right, good deal. Okay, all right, here we go. Ready? This is, yeah, pretty warm water. Oh, I'd say that's faster. But also, interesting, I wonder if that's due to the fact that I got some soap on the middle part of the notches, and I didn't think much of it, but I wonder if that's why it turned. Let's see if it does it again. And how now we see how the like having soap already in there sort of affects the surface area because it doesn't want to go anymore. But that was interesting. It definitely went faster, I would say, and it turned. And I am guessing that that's because there was soap not only on the 2 sides of the notch, but also on the sort of middle back part of the notch. So I'm guessing that's probably why it turned. But we're gonna find out. I was gonna try something next, which is I wanna try putting soap on a couple of different places and see what happens. So yeah, we'll try that next and see if we can get it to like go in funny directions or anything, because I want to see what happens. All right, I'm back, and in an attempt to not make a giant mess with water, I did in fact make a giant mess with water, and some of my boats got wet. So we'll see if they still work, and if not, I'll just cut out more. But we're gonna give this slightly damp boat a try. So again, I have some pretty warm water because I think that was way more fun when it went faster. And we are going to put some more soap on this one. And I want to put it in a slightly different place because I want to see how that affects where the boat goes, right? Because last time it definitely affected where the boat went. So I'm going to try putting it, I'm going to see if I can put it on just one side and the like middle piece. So like here and here. And we'll see what that does, right? We'll figure it out together. All right, so I just want to put a little bit more on there. All right. Okay, and let's see what happens. Yeah, so I'm envisioning that the side that has the soap on it is going to sort of propel the boat. So I'm going to put it over here because I think it's going to turn this way because it has the soap on this side of the boat. So let's see if I'm right. Oh, sad. Sad wet boat doesn't float very well anymore. All right, I am going to take a moment then and cut out some new boats, and I'll be back when I have new boats. Okay, so we have learned that a waterlogged boat will not float, so we are trying again with non-waterlogged boats. Let me grab one of them here. All right, so we're going to try again with that soap placement because I don't think that's the reason that it didn't go anywhere. So again, I'm just going to do it on like one side and the middle of the notch, if I can. There we go, one side. Middle. Just get a little bit more. All right, so we should be good to go here. Let me just make sure there's some more. It's gonna like touch the water. All right, good deal. Okay, that should do it. Okay, so let's see if this works now. And again, I think that, oh, hold on. Well, you know what, that's fine. We'll just do it this side. We're gonna launch it from this side now because I put the soap on. Oh no, that's right. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna do it, yeah. So I put the soap on this side, so it's gonna be on this side now. All right, so I'm gonna put it on this side and see what happens. Yeah, going and turning. What did I tell you? Look at that. Amazing. Yeah, so the soap is totally the propellant, and the fact that I had it on this side of the notch and on the back meant that the boat turned like that, which is awesome. Very cool. All right, so we're gonna do one more in a little bit different way, and bear with me for a second while I rinse and repeat, and I'll be right back for our last and final take. All right, I've got our last boat here, and this time I want to just see what happens if you just put the soap on the back here. Like, what's going to happen? Is it going to go? Is it going to not go as well? I'm curious, so let's try it. So I'm just going to rub it on the back here. It's going to take a little bit more soap, because it's bigger, more surface area. All right, I feel like we're pretty well covered here. So I'm gonna plop that in the water and see what happens. All right, ready? Oh no, that totally goes, but it goes a little bit less straight, but totally fine. So that's interesting. And sort of what I expected. I mean, it's propelling it from the back of the boat. So yeah, it seems like wherever you put it, that's the direction it's gonna go. Yeah, so that was cool. I hope you enjoyed this little experiment, and have a great rest of your January, and I'll see you back here in February. Take care.